Welcome in, Greg Ruff and Reece Chamberlain, men's assistant here at Trevecca, the very first full-time assistant coach in the history of Trevecca athletics. I think that's accurate, but definitely in this era.
Yes.
Talk about that and how it came about.
So
because you were at Belmont, and
right? Yeah, so actually, kind of my journey is a little different getting into coaching than most. I was actually right out of college at Belmont, got into accounting and finance, and had a finance and marketing degree, and kind of thought I wanted to do the business route. But after a couple years doing that, was still coaching AAU ball and really felt called to get into coaching. So kind of obviously, I think like anyone looking for a new job, kind of started to put out fillers and stuff like that. And then once this job became available, knew a lot of people that were interviewing for the head coaching job, and knew Coach O through just a lot of connections when he was at Vanderbilt and I was at Belmont playing. And really I just kind of reached out to him, and then I think I had a lot of people reach out to him on my behalf and that sort of thing. And just kind of talked to him, and him and his wife Beck, we've set up kind of like a FaceTime with me and Kimber and just kind of connected with them. And I guess you could say the rest is history, but kind of.
But you kind of took a leap of faith.
Right, yeah.
In all this too. Talk, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about that.
No, just kind of like you said, the first head or assistant coaching job at Trevecca, it was kind of just the pay cut, kind of what all that would look like was kind of up in the air still at the point that I took the job. And kind of Coach O was doing some work behind the scenes as far as we were trying to get a JV team, and that would kind of allow me to be the head coach of that, and then be able to be a full-time coach here on the varsity side. And then that kind of all came together, and God kind of blessed us, and I'm happy to be here, and it's been a big-time blessing for myself.
Yeah, you've got, like you say, you have experience coaching AAU, and now you have worked with Coach O with the varsity, but also you've kind of run the JV program, as you said. And just talk about that and kind of what's your vision for that, and what do you want to provide for the young men on that roster?
Yeah, I think it's kind of two different things. For me personally, I love it just because anytime you're assistant coach, there's always big-time benefits of being an assistant coach, but also when you're the head coach, you kind of get to be the main voice, and the guys are looking to you, and you kind of get to be the more vocal one. I think a lot of times as assistant, I think you're just kind of, you don't want to overstep your boundaries and that sort of thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but when you're the head coach, you kind of get more freedom to say, I think we should do this, or I think we should do that, and that's been fun for me, just trying to get that experience as a head coach. And
it's like anything, it's reps of being in that role, because you could be an assistant for 20 years, but then all of a sudden you're in the head coach, and it is different. You have to be able to know how to craft your words to communicate differently, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely totally different. I think you see it in coaching world all the time as far as guys are always looking to get head coaching experience just because it is totally different. And, again, you're the main voice. You got guys looking to you. When you're the assistant coach, you can kind of meet with guys more one-on-one and say, here's what I see in your game. When you're the head coach, everybody's looking to you. So that's been cool. And then as far as the players themselves, I definitely think we do a good job of focusing on the right thing. We want those guys to improve as players, so that's one of our main focuses when we get those guys coming in. But also guys that maybe didn't have the opportunities right out of high school, and just focusing on the Christian scholar part just as much as anything for those guys, just because that's something that's going to last far beyond basketball. And obviously we want them to improve in basketball, and we want them to strive to play varsity. But at the same time, we want them to be focused on the right things, for sure.
You played for some really good coaches throughout your career, and just talk about those guys and what they provided to you, and kind of what you've taken from them and want to pass along to the people that you're coaching now.
Yeah. Now I was obviously truly blessed to play for Coach Bird. I mean, you can't say enough good things about him. And
they have a court named after him now, by the way.
Exactly. So you can't say enough good things about him, and obviously I can't even go on to say like all I've learned from him. X's and O's, obviously he's unbelievable. It's unbelievable just kind of being at any level, just looking to see how his players play for him on the court, how smart they are, but also just kind of the guys that he recruits, and as far as good character guys, and guys that represent the University of Belmont. And I think that's something that we've definitely tried to do here as far as recruiting guys that you want to be proud of when they're off the basketball court. And that's something that I think is definitely true that I've learned from Coach Bird. And then obviously all the assistants at Belmont that I was under. Coach Ayers, he's been assistant at Belmont for, 20-something years. When I was there, Coach Price, who's now a high school head coach at Baylor, Coach Strong's at Vanderbilt, and then obviously Coach Casey was a coach there, and Coach Eastrom. Those were the coaches I was under, and Coach Eastrom's the assistant for Lipscomb, and Coach Casey obviously is the new head coach at Belmont. So to say I got lucky playing for some great coaches would be an understatement. And all those guys' resumes speak for themselves on the court, but obviously all high-character coaches as well.
He's Reece Chamberlain. He's been a blessing to us here at Trevecca, and I got to watch him play in high school and college, and he's carried that over to the coaching ranks as well, and we were glad to have him here at Trevecca. Wanted you to get to know him just a little bit. You can find out more about Trevecca basketball at TNUtrojans.com.